Hello ladies, it's Susan with Pumpkin Hill Stampers. I have a quick card demonstration for you today. This is using the Tranquil Tulips Hostess set. We're also using the Petal Burst impression folder, and then I'm borrowing words from the Flourishing Phrases set. So, combination of products here. And I'm going to show you two-step stamping, which I know is one of those basic stamping techniques we can do, but maybe not always have practiced at it. So this is a kit we're going to do at a party in October. So I just thought I would go ahead and do a demonstration so that the gals can refer back to it if they have questions. And, you know, it's always fun to review these fun, quote-unquote, simple techniques. Okay, so it's a pretty simple card kit. A Whisper White envelope, a standard 8.5 by 5.5 card base, which I'm using Whisper White. Then I have a piece of Whisper White that's cut down to 5 1/4 by 4, and I've run that through the embossing folder to give it that impression. I'm using a simple piece of garden green ribbon, which we're going to go ahead and just snail on the back to hold it in place. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. So I'm just going to add some snail on the sides of the back of my cardstock, and then this ribbon's going to go right around and just tack into that snail on the back side. See? Just like that. And then we could just pop this up on dimensionals, but I'm going to keep it simple and just snail it to the card front. Now, one thing you want to keep in mind is that when you're snailing the adhesive on these textured pieces, you want to make sure you put enough on there so it really sticks. Sometimes the impression will not hold so well. So a little extra adhesive. I'm going to fix this card base because it's a little crooked, so bear with me while I adjust my crease. See, I was able to adjust that. And I'm going to go ahead and take that off. That's not a piece we need. Okay, so I'm putting this down and I'm just centering it inside the frame of the card base. Okay, and I just want to press down hard. Another way to do that is flip it over and press it down. That way you can really put the adhesive right into that texture and the cardstock together. Okay, I'm going to set that aside for a second. Now I have this pre-cut oval from the Layering Ovals framelits that I did on my Big Shot. Now for this card I'm using Rose Red, Garden Green, and Basic Black. Now, if your ink pads are new or re-inked, they're very dark. So if I stamp the solid flower, okay, I'm going to show you here. If I stamp it once, see how dark it is? Do that again. Now if I stamp it again, it's a little bit lighter. And then I can huff it, stamp it again, and it's even lighter. So we have full ink, another stamp without re-inking, and then I huffed it here. Okay, so being a two-step stamp image, see this one has another detailed image that's going to go on the top. So the same thing, if I stamp this over the top, you see it's darker with some detail. Go again. Or go again. But then we can also switch up our layers of ink. So this time I'm going to ink the solid tulip. I'm going to stamp off one layer of ink, and then I'm going to stamp it on my oval. Okay. Then I'm going to come in and stamp the detail stamp, and without stamping it off, I'm going to add full ink over the top. And see how I'm just positioning it over the image? That's called two-step stamping. Now this set has another smaller tulip, so again I'm going to ink it up, and then I'm going to stamp it off once, and then I'm going to stamp it on my oval. And it also has a detailed second stamp, which I'm going to ink solid and then stamp over. So you see how we have that two-tone tulip texture on there? Okay, now I'm going to come in with the stem, which I've curved because it's a photopolymer, so I've curved it a little bit so it's going to sway. So I'm going to ink that on my garden green, and I can see through my block, so I'm able to marry up my stem with my flower, which is a really nice feature of photopolymer sets. Okay, Then we have a leaf, and you'll notice one end has this little hook and the other end is just kind of a tip, and I'm using both ends. So come in with the little tip there, and then I'm going to flip it over and use the other end to create different height of leaves. Alright, and then the last thing is I'm going to add the Just a Note right over the top. And I'm adding basic black for my ink here so it'll stand up. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp it kind of up in the stem so that it's got a little more white space around it. Okay. One of the things you notice is that I used an active edge. I wasn't worried about getting my flowers inside of the oval. Okay, so it's kind of like you stamp it and then you could cut it out, but I cut it out first. So now I'm going to go ahead and use dimensionals. And that's just going to get popped up on the face of our card, overlapping on the ribbon. Just like that. And you're ready to go. You got a pretty hand stamped note that you can send to whomever you need to send a card to. Alright, so there's that. And then for the envelope, we never use naked envelopes. If you're going to take the time to stamp a card, you might as well take the time to stamp your envelope. So I'm going to use the big tulip here again, and I'm just going to do the two-step stamping similar to what we did on the face. And then we've got some decorative envelope images. So there we go. Simple two-step stamping with this lovely tulip set, which is a hostess set. So you can get this hostess set when you have a $150 order, or if you combine orders from a party you want to host, you can get it then too. Alright ladies, I hope you enjoyed it. Happy stamping. Have a great day.